That's way better, but look at this. That's what everybody in the world's looking for. Well, you don't have your thumb on the ball, that's why you do it. It's just like bowling like a two-hander. So if you look at the ball as the earth, a typical one-hander with their thumb in tries to get their fingers below the equator. Two-handers or bowlers without their thumb on the ball, they're trying to get their hand down, their fingers down by Antarctica. That allows you to roll the ball half a turn of the earth for free. And there you go. You don't really turn your hand that much, but look at all the ball shape you get because you're throwing it from the bottom of the ball, not the middle in the ball. That's actually more important if you're on the inside or outside of the ball. It's that you're on the bottom, and that's why two-handers and people without their thumb on the ball can make the ball hook so much. It's where you're on the bottom of the swing. When you come around it too much, your ball actually goes really, really straight, or it gets to the dry too soon, it overhooks. So if you watch the best bowlers, you see their ball hooks. I mean, obviously the most common one is Tackett right now. EJ throws maybe the best release of all time. He's barely turning it. His hand never goes past that little magic horseshoe he puts up there at the end. That little thing right there, that's where EJ gets to, but he's got the ability to, he turns it and it goes, his hand is always going more forward than it is going around it. So his momentum is always greater than his rotation. When people see him bowl, especially on TV, and you see how much it hooks, it's beyond cool. As an ex-pro, I love watching EJ's ball. Like I wish my ball still did that, or ever did that. But everybody sees it as this. I want to turn the ball like EJ Tackett. No, EJ gets it going forward with rotation. His rotation never supersedes his momentum. I think most amateurs get that wrong. They want to see it hook. You turn a doorknob, you roll a bowling ball.
But there's a rhythm to it.
Yeah.
You know, I feel.
Because you're swinging back softer, your legs are all of a sudden moving better. So when you pull this up, you can't go forward.
So does a push-off help with that?
I think it does. I'm a big believer. I'm a big believer.
I feel your push-off a little bit. Like I feel like that's more than what I typically do.
So I'm a big believer in the swing set.
Okay.
Because it's got the word swing in it.
Gotcha.
So the swing set, the bar is your shoulder.
Right here.
Obviously, two-handers, I use it the most because it's two chains, two ball, the two chains. What I'm trying to do is just get, when you push it out, people tend to do their push-away out of their hand. They're trying to shove their hand. I think your elbow should move your hand 3 to 4 inches out. Now walk by it.
And then you
but
get
what
a chance
happened was,
to
that's why
walk
I'm a big
by.
believer in that second step being tall. Something has to stabilize the shoulder to create a fulcrum. What do most bowlers do? Here. Now the ball's dead. I only have one move. I can pull it back. Now my head's in front.
That makes total sense.
Yeah. So when you get slow with your feet and your head gets forward, the ball, grab my hand, the ball swings in an arc. Okay. So when your head goes here, this shoulder socket goes forward. Once that shoulder socket goes forward, it takes your thumb. So now that's how you threw the ball. Feel my arm, feel how strong that is? I can feel it here. Once this rotates in, now you're hanging on like that. Make my hands touch. Nobody ever has in history. Nobody's strong there. You don't pick up anything with your thumb and your fingertips.
Like
so when your head's up, your hand's here. When your head's forward,
that was your best one
now
so
your
far.
hand's on the ball like that.
Time you're
so
going
then
has
that
to be,
causes
there's no ball.
You're not
Yeah.
doing a chicken wing because you're hanging on for your life. Because Sir Isaac Newton, undefeated.
Because then they get their ball on the top of their swing too soon.
That's better, Mark.
You can actually control
that. That was better.
And now it just wants to swing.
You turn that in front of you. So then when you turn it, so what happens is when you turn it in front of you, you're here, so the ball goes that way and then that way. When you get here and you have the rotation early, the ball comes off like this and it shoots it dead right. That was really good.
And do you think having the ball positioned in front of you or on the side of you?
I'm a big believer in the ball, because you're aiming at a target down lane, probably third arrow.
Should be straight.
So there's everywhere you bowl, there's a seam on your shirt. I like it where the seam meets your shirt. Put my forearm on that. My push away is always 1 inch inside my target. So now my forearm is dead in line with where I want the ball to go.
Okay.
So when you hold the ball here, in essence, your forearm tells the ball where to go.
Ooh.
So you're aiming there, so now you got to make a
adjustment.
So then you got to make a lateral move in your push away. So you can get it back to perfect. You cannot get it to where you want it, or you can get it too far, which definitely has an effect on where your swing is behind you.
That makes sense.
You start it here and you walk 3 or 4 boards left, your swing's going to come up. You're going to get that pivot step to drop in. That's how your swing tucks in. That knee gets in there in time. That drops your hand inside.
Yep. But if it's
there's a lot of things going on to get your hand to work the inside of the ball. It ain't just working your hand inside the ball. There's some other stuff that better be in play.
Yeah, so it's
the hard
over
part's
the
to coach.
top of a golf swing and shallowing it or coming too steep. It's the same thing except
your lower body has to be in charge and your swing has to drop into a slot.
Yeah.
Or you can work on all those drills you want till you're till the cows come home, and your hand will not stay behind it if you're not in time.
It almost makes too much sense.
Well, they're going to the fun part, they're skipping the hard part. I live in the hard part.
Yeah,
I make a living in the hard part.
Amateurs tend to drift right for one specific reason. They want to see the ball hook. If you drift into your swing, your ball gets to the dry early, and you get to see hook. Pros, on the other hand, want to learn to control their hook. Pros walk left to control it. Amateurs walk right to see it hook. Obviously, if you're going to try to bowl for a living, you're going to have to learn to walk straight or walk left because they bowl on such diverse conditions and the lanes hook so much that walking away from your target gets your ball to the back part of the lane before it hooks. People that tend to walk right tend to like play outside. Bowlers that walk more than 5 right tend to love to play right at 10, throw it really hard. That's a way to bowl. But if you're going to bowl for a living, bowl a lot of sport shots, you might want to look into walking straight or a little bit left. For a guy the size of Brian, walking right is the kiss of death, because his rev rate's high and he walks into a swing. When you walk into your swing, what does your hand have to do? Go around it. But he's only using these 2 fingers. He doesn't need to go around any earlier than he did. So when he walks right, he's hitting his front target, but he's missing the back target, which is the important target. When people have a hard time keeping their left foot quiet, when they stay in balance, you pull down so hard, the down force of your shoulders, that's what spins your hips. So most of your misses go to the right and you have a rotator, right? So what we're trying to do is get his left foot to be a little more quiet so the power comes out of his legs so he can add the rotation later. What happens is when you pull down and that foot spins out, now your hips are facing the wall, but your brain wants the ball to go that way. Well, the only thing that can happen is your hand can come over the top. So he adds the rotation too soon, he goes like this. So the ball's coming off like that, it shoots it dead right. Either hits you out of bounds, doesn't hook, hits it dry too early and goes Brooklyn. His good shot, when he uses more legs and his hand goes forward and adds a rotation later, his left foot will stay straighter, more balanced, and he'll hit his target more often. So you're still not far enough left and you're still trying to turn it too much, right? Just roll it. When there's more oil, turning it doesn't make it hook more, turning it makes it skid more. I see it every day. Because things that people are told, the more they hook, the more I have to turn it. The more oil it is, I got to get it to hook more. But the more oil it is, you have to get it to roll more. Bowlers who are really good with a lot of oil were Walter Ray, Norm Duke, Chris Barnes. 3 guys who could really, really roll the ball. So where you're really seeing it
Right on cue.
is when your leg's in it and your hand rotates later. Watch this. All right, you get in trouble when your ball reads here.
Here, yeah.
So now, by the time you see it hook, it's another 10 feet because the ball's going 17 miles an hour, 18 miles an hour. But see how your ball keeps pushing? And now you see the core change direction. All your misses, the cores are changing direction here.
Oh,
So
like
even if it's the
5
same
feet.
board, so look how far this goes. That's about another 7-8 feet.
Yeah,
Well, then it hits the pocket.
true.
But if the ball started hooking here, it would be slower at the pins,
Nose
but
up
it would
open.
also be left because it had 7 more feet to hook. It will.
Yeah.
So that's why when you reverse it all the way back to your hand, where your hand adds the rotation is so important because that has a lot to do not only how the cover stock works, but more like how the core lays down.
I'm not giving it a chance.
No, you're getting the core to turn down too soon. The core can only get, the core's going to do its job. It's to lay down. Hands behind it, and there we go. So you hardly, look how little your hand turned.
Yeah, barely.
Barely turned, but look at all the shape you created.
Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest myths. The more I turn it, the more hook. The more you turn it, the more it spins. So that's, a lot of the bowlers that come in here try to work on their release only. They've spent so much time on this release that's not very effective because it has to happen at the end because you got to hit a target.
There's
The
a
accuracy
term out
comes
there.
before the power.
There's a term out there that people have coined for you. You know that, right?
Oh, I'm sure I don't want to hear it.
It's called Baker bars.
Oh, Baker bars?
So when you drop a bar like that,
What's a bar?
you just dropped one. The more that you try to hook the ball, the more it spins, not the more. What did you say? Say that again.
I don't know.
What you just said about
Baker
me
bar.
not turning it too much?
When you try to over-rotate it, I don't know what I said.
It was a Baker bar, though. Yeah, we're going to see the rewind. Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest myths. The more I turn it, the more hook. The more you turn it, the more it spins.
But realistically,
When you turn it later, you have much more control down lane.
yeah.
When you turn it early, the core wants to read in the wrong place. So when you go to throw the ball, there's a window that the ball has to come off. The window is static. It's this long. So when he keeps his head down, he turns it at the end of the window. When head goes up, he turns it at the beginning of the window.
When the beginning window, your hand gets quick. When your hand gets quick, you never hit a target. Everybody talks about having a soft hand. That window is static. So if you turn it at the end of the thing, you turn it less, and you turn it later, you're more accurate, better control the break point. When you turn it early, you don't hit a target, and the break point becomes irrelevant. If you want to look at that, go watch the tape of Mr. Anthony Simonsen. Nobody uses the back of the window better, so his hand's the softest. That's why he has the most, probably the most versatility of all the two hands.